Hello, dreamers! Hi, welcome back. It's Maya Joy once again. And today we are going to talk about change and 3 easy tools to know that it is definitely time for some change in your life. The inspiration for this video are the many questions that I have been getting from all of you about how to know if it's time to make a change in your life, whether it's, with your career or it's, relationally. A lot of you are feeling the call for change, but you are looking for confirmation that it is truly in alignment with your soul's chosen plan. Today, I would like to provide 3 indications that indeed it is time for change. In the description below, you'll find an very easy calculator where you can determine which personal year that you are having. These personal years change at the new year, and they really can tell us a lot about the energy of the year ahead. I have noticed that people undergo a lot of change if it is their personal year 5. So if you are in a personal year 5 right now and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I really want to break free, like I want to move across the world, like now's the time to pursue my dreams. Or if you're in a personal year 4 right now and you're like, oh, I've been working like really, really hard and, I think that I might be ready to make a change next year, that probably is meant to be, especially if the change is the type where it's like, I'm going to finally embrace my creativity and have some fun and break free of limitations. I see a lot of that type of thing happening in personal year 5s. So of all the personal years in my observations over the last decade, personal year 5 tends to bring the most change or be an indication that it's a sign of change. However, we do have some other numbers that can indicate change as well. One of them is if you are in a personal year 9 or you are heading from a personal year 9 to a personal year 1, to a lesser extent, I do see this as an indication of change. Often in the personal year 9, we see a culmination of sort of goals and objectives that we've been working towards like for the past 8 to 9 years. And often after those events culminating, we sort of begin an entirely new journey when we reach our personal year 1. So personal year 9 can be a time of letting go and clearing out. This can be a bit more subtle. With the year 5, I often find that the change is sort of like, it can be sudden and unexpected, but in an exciting way. Usually the change that I see from a year 9 to a year 1 in numerology, it's more change inspired from within. It's like, I'm ready to begin a new journey. I think of almost like, I guess I would think like for those of you that are familiar with tarot, a personal year 5, I would think of that as being like the Wheel of Fortune card in the tarot. It's like a matter of fate or destiny. The 9 to the 1, I would think of like the Fool card. It's a choice from within the soul, from within the person to begin to pursue new hopes, new dreams, new objectives. So usually in the year 9, there's a culmination of events that the person has been working towards. And then in the year 1, they begin anew, and new characters and goals and dreams usually enter their heart and their life. Next is a tool of astrology that I've been really excited to share with all of you, and I will make more videos about this tool. But for now, just know that it's called Annual Profections. And much like the numerological personal year, we have an annual perfection year each time that we have our birthday. So the personal year changes at the new year in numerology, but the annual perfection year changes at your birthday. So for those of you that are really sensitive to energies and you like feel something changing when you have your birthday, this is it. So if you look on the screen, you will see the annual perfections wheel. And on the outside, right, you'll see house numbers of first house, second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house, sixth house, seventh house, eighth house. It is possible that any of these could indicate change. When you are the age listed in the house, that's what the little numbers are. So if you look at the one that says first house, if you're 0 years old and you're watching this, you're a genius. No, but if you're 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, then that would be your first house year. Or if you are 6, 18, 30, 42, 54, 66, that would be your seventh house year. So to a certain extent, anytime you're having a year in your chart, hopefully you'll have a copy of your chart, but you can use this method even if you don't. If you're having a year where there's a whole bunch of little planets that are in that particular house number, maybe it's number 4, maybe it's number 9, or whatever it is, that indicates a very important year in your life with a lot of activity and probably change. But just looking at the ages themselves, like without a copy of the chart, where I see the most change, I would say I see a lot of change when a person is having an 8th house year. You would be having an 8th house year if you're 31, if you just had your 31st birthday, your 43rd birthday, your 55th birthday, or your 67th birthday. The 8th house change, sometimes it can be deep relational change. For example, a person gets married and they move in with their partner. I also see the reverse a lot of times in 8th house years. If you've been feeling like, oh, my relationship might be ready, but we're kind of dragging our feet. We don't know if we should get divorced or split, or we don't know when. Often that can occur during an 8th house year. If there is a relative that might be ready to make their transition to the other side, often that can occur during an 8th house year. I see a lot of change of resources, whether that's inheritance or it's, oh, we're going to move home, or, oh, I'm going to move in with a partner and we're combining our assets. You can also see a lot of psychological change and breakthrough that happens during an 8th house year. Suddenly we begin to understand our deep motivations. Perhaps we understand experiences that we've had during childhood, or come to psychological realizations that inspire us to change our life. So I see a lot of change during the 8th house year. Another time that we're being asked to finish up and let go and prepare ourselves for change, when we are having a 12th house annual perfection year. So if you are 23, 35, 47, 59, 71, often it can be a courage to accept that we are at the end of a cycle. We're being asked to let go, and that new events, new inspirations, new possibilities are coming at our next birthday. Speaking of which, that brings us to the next year. I see a lot of change, especially relational change in a positive way. This is the first house annual perfection year. So if you are 24, 36, 48, 60, I see a lot of exciting new possibilities coming during the first house year. Often I see that if a person is single, they may meet a new partner. Now, this is a very powerful method, as some of you may be sensing. So you can make a lot of predictions using the annual perfections method. But if you are able to interpret your chart a little and you know the sign that's ruling a house, I'll link below my video about how to get a free copy of your chart in whole sign houses. But you can use the sign ruling the house or planets in the house to make predictions about the unfoldment of change, for example, in your life during that birth year. But especially if you're headed into an 8th house year, if you're going to be turning 31, 43, 55, 67, I see a lot of change affiliated with that particular year. The final indication that change is on the way are eclipses. Eclipses bring a moment of divine reordering. So currently we are having eclipses on the Scorpio-Taurus axis. So if you are a Scorpio or a Taurus, or if you have a copy of your chart and you see that you have planets that are there in Scorpio or in Taurus, those planets may be undergoing change, or those houses in your chart may be undergoing change. So if you have a copy of your chart, you look at what house is ruled by Scorpio and what house is ruled by Taurus. Those areas of your life are likely to be undergoing change at this time, and especially undergoing change this autumn when we have our exact eclipses. I always think of it as like the hand of God or the hand of the divine giving us, almost like, again, if you follow tarot, you could think of this possibly as being like maybe the Ace of Wands, or like we're almost being given a divine ordination, often a divine ordination of change. Sometimes this change can be very internal. We have a new realization or a new inspiration is brought into our heart. Sometimes the eclipse can be very external. Suddenly we get a new job offer or meet a new partner. We are being asked by the divine to undergo a change process where the eclipses are happening. These are more like matters of destiny. I often feel when an eclipse time comes, it's the enactment of our soul's chosen plan. Even though it can be scary to accept change, depending on your psychology and your personality, we often can feel that it's meant to be. Even if you don't have a copy of your chart or you don't know anything about astrology, you may find that looking back, especially if you look back at past eclipses, that those marked important times of change in your life. There are some changes in life that can be reversed, and then there are some changes in life that are final. I often find that events that come, especially if they come from the outside during an eclipse, they're often final changes. There is a divine process unfolding in your life. Change is a part of our life. We are meant to undergo and experience many things in our earthly lives. And sometimes when we get a bit complacent or a bit bored with the way things are going, a higher power says, all right, here you go. Here's your new ordination. Here's your new challenge. Here's your new experience, your new opportunity. It might be time for you to experience that new opportunity, that new challenge, that change, that exciting possibility. So I want to thank you all for listening today and for being a part of the Maya Stream community. It is truly, truly wonderful to have you here. And as most of you will know, but some of you who are new may not know, I do offer a variety of readings. So if you're interested in a personal reading, you'll find details about my current offerings in the description below. But to all who are listening, thank you. Many blessings to you, and namaste.